Your dream for 2025 is to have a magical Disney World vacation full of fun, laughter, and smiles. But okay, here's the thing, guys. Disney vacations like that don't just happen on their own. They need a little help, or in Disney speak, they need a little pixie dust. So today I'm going to be giving you the roadmap to creating your own pixie dust without all the trial and error, because as someone who travels to Disney World frequently, I've learned a lot of what to do and what not to do, so let's jump into it. This video is going to be your kind of 30,000 foot view of your Disney World vacation, where to start, kind of how to end up where you want to be on that magical vacation, strolling down Main Street, USA, and it's going to be a great way to do that. Now, this is just going to be the high points of things that you need to do. This is not all the details. There are so many little magical things and pixie dusted ways you can add in that to your vacation. But I'm gonna link my guide down below if you're interested in that. It is a full thing, because this video, if I did this, would be hours and hours and hours long, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, you would probably bore of it and be like, okay, I gotta turn this off, like it's overwhelming. But before we jump into all the fun, I thought I should probably introduce myself. Hi, my name is Ashley and my channel here is Pixie Dusted Mom. I am very passionate about sharing tips and tricks and helping families to have a smoother and less stressful Disney vacation, because if you've heard about Disney, it's probably not exactly been known as the most stress-free place on the planet. So helping you guys to have a smoother vacation, simplifying family travel, and also sharing vlogs from our adventures along the way to get you excited and inspired and ready to go for your vacation. If that's content that you're interested in seeing more of in your subscription feed, I would love it if you would click the red subscribe button, join my little Disney travel internet fam here on YouTube. But now that you know who you're hanging out with for the next little while, let's get into the Disney vacation planning tips. The biggest question of kind of getting this whole Disney vacation ball rolling is, when should we go? And honestly, you're gonna have a lot of different variables, and this is honestly gonna be dictated by you, your family, your traveling party, whatever that looks like. So kind of making that decision based on what works well for you. If you have a flexible schedule and you can take off whenever, you maybe choose to go during more of a slow period. Some of you can only go during the summer because that's when you're off from vacation, kids are out of school, you don't want to take your kids out of school. It may look different for everyone, and you may have the more flexibility around holidays because maybe you have days off, spouse has days off, and that way you can take the kids and you can go over a holiday break. Now, all of these are going to vary in crowd levels and times of year and different themes and events that are going on at Disney World. But with going in with the right knowledge and the right kind of mindset about your vacation, sometimes it's going to be less crowded, sometimes it may be more crowded. But you can have a great time no matter when you go, again, with that right mindset of going into it, of this is kind of my expectation of it's going to be busier, but we've got a plan. We're armed with the knowledge of what we need to do, what we want to do, we've got our priorities, we've planned out our days, that sort of thing. That is going to help you go in and have a much more magical vacation. Now, I've got to quickly interrupt this video because I am planning something I'm so excited about. I've never done this, and I am so giddy with excitement for this event. But on January 14th, I am going to be hosting a live Disney World vacation planning workshop. I am so freaking excited. We're going to be doing some mock trips. I'm going to have a couple of different budgets there, and we're going to be stepping through the entire decision-making planning process. Going to get feedback from you guys. You can help me plan the trip, and we're going to step through that together. I am so excited. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to have some live Q&A. So all of these questions that we're talking about, if you have questions about them, you can get feedback. We can jump in. We'll have the live chat so everybody can be chatting together, plus sharing all kinds of tips and tricks for planning a Disney World vacation for 2025. So would love if you would join. Have special introductory pricing. So if you join before December 3rd, you are going to get it for $27. You'll get the replay as well, but would absolutely love to see you in that live planning session on January 14th. But I'll have the information and everything linked down below so you can check that out. But now back to this video to get you started. Next phase of this little roadmap is, where should you stay? Before you can book anything, you kind of need to know where you're gonna book. So you have a lot of different options when you're going to Disney World in Orlando. Our personal favorite for our family is to stay on property. We love the Disney bubble, we love the feel, and so that for us is something that we lean towards. But there's also lots of off-property hotels. You have Airbnbs, you have condos in the area, so you have a plethora of different options when it comes to places to stay when you are visiting Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Florida. So when it comes to that, honestly, picking the one that's going to be best for you, best for your family, marrying that whole budget together with the convenience of where you're wanting to be, and just kind of getting on that same page and merging those two little happy things together of what you want to spend and kind of how do you want to spend your vacation. But to be perfectly honest, no matter where you stay, whether it's on property or off property, you are going to have an amazing vacation. So don't let a lot of the comparison game of, well, I'm not staying at this resort, I'm not staying at that, or I'm not doing this or that. Don't let that sneak in, because that can really rob the magic from the vacation that you've worked so hard for, and you may have been really, really excited, but then you saw somebody post about something else. And this is one of those unsolicited opinion kind of things, little TED talk here in the middle of this, but don't get caught up in the comparison trap that is vacations as a family, or just doing stuff as a family in general. There's everything online. You see everything from everybody, seems like, and it can really be easy to let that sneak in and steal the thunder from your vacation. So try not to let that happen. Focus on what is most important to you and your family, the things that you're going to be doing, and having a great time. Because I don't care if you are at the cheapest, most bottom of the barrel hotel, you're going to be having an amazing time, because you and your family and your time together are what is the magic of this. All of these other things are bonuses, and they may help and add to your vacation in these little different ways, and they're great. But don't forget, you're the magic. You're why the family vacation is amazing, because it's you and your family. You're spending time together and you're making lifelong memories. As someone who does enjoy staying on property, I do have some suggestions. I have thankfully been able to enjoy all of the different Disney hotels. So I've got thoughts, and I have #1 picks in all of the categories, from value, absolutely cheapest that you can get on Disney property, all the way up to Deluxe Villa. So they're like kind of almost like apartment, condo kind of thing going on there at Disney World. So we've got this wide variety of things. Now, when you do stay on property, obviously Disney's going to plus it up to make it more appealing. So you're gonna get things like extra time in the parks. You're going to get special access to booking windows, earlier, better booking windows for things like your dining. You're gonna get that for lightning lanes, as well as your enchanting extras. So things like Bippity Boppity Boutique and that sort of thing. You are going to get a little bit better of a window of booking those things. You're gonna get a little bit better of a chance of snagging those things. So obviously they're going to want to plus it up. In 2025, you're also on your check-in day going to get a free visit to the water parks, which is pretty cool. So whether it's Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon open at the time, your family is going to get to go there. So everybody checking in, you can go to the water park for free. I mean, technically you're paying for it, but it is a benefit of staying on property, which is pretty cool. And then one of my family's personal favorite benefits is the free transportation. Now, some off-property hotels do offer free transportation, but it doesn't usually run quite as frequently or as smoothly as the Disney transportation. So you'd get a better experience basically doing that versus staying off property. So that is just a couple of variables. Now, for my recommendations, starting out with the value category, I'm going to go from the least expensive to the most expensive. So in the value category, #1 is Pop Century. You honestly can't beat the value of this resort, as well as the fact that you have the Skyliner, which is going to give you that added transportation benefit to and from Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So if those are parks that are on your family's high priority list, then this is going to be a great option for you and your family. You can hop on the Skyliner. It's just a really fun transportation mode of getting back and forth, and kind of adds to it. You'll still have free bus transportation to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, the water parks, and Disney Springs, but it is just a really great hotel. We have stayed here quite a few times and thoroughly enjoy it. Another option in the value, though, if you can't get into Pop Century, because it does actually fill up rather quickly, is AllStar Movies. This is our hands down favorite of the All-Stars. It is super cute. They have a really fun Toy Story section. They have a Fantasia Mickey section, so you literally get Mickey Mouse right there at your hotel, like he's in the pool. And then you also have that really, really cool Toy Story section. You can sit in RC and get a photo, and that whole section is just like a 90s kid's dream over there. So if you have a Toy Story lover in your life, this is going to be a great option. While you do have only bus transportation to all 4 parks and the water parks and Disney Springs, all your transportation's bus related, you are going to save money. Sometimes it's $10 a night that you're saving. Sometimes it's upwards of $50 a night that you're saving. So it depends on the time and the season. So if you're looking for cheapest absolute possible, we love AllStar Movies. It is our favorite of the All-Stars. So Can't go wrong with those. Now in the moderate category, my hands down favorite, I have loved this resort ever since we stayed there in 2012. It is just like, it has my heart and I love it so much, but that is Port Orleans French Quarter. Now its sister resort, Port Orleans Riverside, is lovely, but French Quarter is going to be a smaller resort. It is nowhere near as sprawling as its sister Riverside. It's not as sprawling as Coronado or even Caribbean Beach. While I love Caribbean Beach because it does have the Skyliner access, if you're not going to be spending a lot of times in those parks and you're wanting something a little bit smaller, then French Quarter is going to be the way to go, especially for a new to Disney family. This is super simple. The buildings are really close, so getting back and forth to the pool, the amenities, the main building, your dining options there, that sort of thing is going to be super simple. And you also only have one bus stop, so you're not riding through on a bunch of buses. You're just in and out really, really easy. There's just one spot to go, and so it makes it super duper simple. We absolutely love this resort, as well as you have the access of, if you're spending time outside of the parks, you're not wanting to spend every day of your vacation there, you can also take the boat down to Disney Springs or the bus to Disney Springs, so you're super close to that way. You can go do some shopping, some dining, and hang out down there because it is really overlooked. And so we absolutely love French Quarter, and you've got to do yourself a favor and get the beignets. Like it's a whole thing. Like it is, they kind of have a cult following, but my mouth is like salivating just thinking about the beignets. So please do me and you a favor and go get the beignets and the chocolate sauce. Dipping it, I need a beignet in my life, you guys. Now in the deluxe category, my pick for this one is honestly what I feel like is Disney's like hidden gem deluxe resort, and that is the Yacht Club. I love that resort so much, and it is beautiful. It's conveniently located to Epcot, so you can be there at the gate into International Gateway, which is kind of like the back door to Epcot, in a 10-minute walk. It is perfect, so getting in and out is really easy. You're a 20-minute walk from Hollywood Studios, or you can take the boat down there, which is absolutely perfect. We love it so much. It is beautiful. It does give you access to Disney's most popular hotel pool, and that is Stormalong Bay. It's like a mini water park kind of in and of itself, but it also, if you're not wanting all the stimulation and all the busyness of that, the quiet pool has like usually nobody there. We have been there in some of the busy times of summer and it's just empty. So I absolutely love it. There's like laundry nearby, so you can do some laundry, you can swim in the pool. Like it is perfect. They have amazing dining, and I just can't recommend this resort enough. It's kind of a sleeper hotel and we absolutely love it. The rooms are great. They're very nice sized, and some of them even have views of Epcot. So if you wanted to come back, watch the fireworks from your balcony, that is a great option there. So absolutely love the Yacht Club. And I just don't feel like it gets the love it deserves, to be perfectly honest. Now the last category is the Deluxe Villa category. So this is Deluxe Villa, DVC. This is the Disney Vacation Club side of things, but you can also rent them or book them through Disney. So we won't get into the whole booking Disney Vacation Club DVC. That's a whole video in and of itself. But when it comes to resorts in this category, I kind of had to pick my top three. I just couldn't pick one, because depending on you and your family and what your preferences are is really going to dictate which one of these is going to be right for your family. So I wanted to share three of them so you've got some options. So number one up in this category, and these are in no particular order, but the first one is Saratoga Springs. This is actually our home DVC resort, and the size of the rooms here and the value is really good. For staying on property, it gives you lots of space, but you're not paying near what a lot of the other DVC Deluxe Villa category hotels are charging. So this was great. You're also close to Disney Springs, which is one of the things that we love about this. You can take the boat over, you can walk over from some of the locations, and you can also take the bus. They have a golf course right at your fingertips, so this is a great one if you're like trying to convince the hubby and he likes to play golf. Be like, hey babe, on our off day I can take the kids to the splash pad and you can go have a tea time. Like I don't if your guy's into that and you're like really trying to convince them, this could be a great way to do that, is staying at a Disney golf resort. It is awesome. A lot of people really love the golf course there, so that's a great option. And then they also have multiple splash pads, like 3 splash pads Honestly, it's a really great resort that we love for both visiting the park. So you're there, you're getting the Disney feel, you're going to the parks, you're doing that whole thing. But if you're also wanting a resort only stay, that's a really great option for this too. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Now, the only con that I will disclaimer for this resort is that there are multiple bus stops throughout this resort. So if spending time on a bus is going to be an issue for your family, then you may want to splurge and spend and stay differently. But if you don't mind a couple of bus stops, it'll add maybe 10 or so minutes to your travel time getting to the resort, getting back to your room at the end of the day, or getting to the park in the morning. Just kind of factoring that in. That's just something to be aware of when you stay there. For us, we don't really mind it. We just get on and we just ride the bus and we go, and it is what it is. But for some people, I know that's a really big con for them. So I did want to mention that, kind of a disclaimer. That one is, it's got a lot of bus stops, but it is a great resort. Number 2 on the list is Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village. I think Kidani wins over Jambo House, and here's why. First, you have the amazing food, so this one's great, and then you also have the best and biggest kids splash pad on Disney property. The rooms are really good size, and you also have a savannah at your resort. Like, how cool is that? Plus, you get access to its sister resort, Jambo House, which has even more dining, another giant pool to go swim in, more savannah, and you also have Simba's clubhouse, which is really cool. It has lots of crafts. You can go in and watch Disney movies that they're playing on the TV. They have board games in there. They have coloring, all kinds of stuff. So it's a really great place. If you're wanting to have resort only time, this is perfect. And I would honestly, this may get me some hate in the Disney community, but I would honestly say that if you stayed here, you could potentially just completely skip Animal Kingdom and just have a lazy, laid back Animal Kingdom style day, because the food is incredible. The resort is incredible. You have the animals right there. So unless you're just really wanting to ride attractions or maybe meet characters, this is just a really great laid back way to have Animal Kingdom without the ticket price and without going. So I would honestly do that. Like, we love Animal Kingdom, but this place is so cool. You could easily spend an entire day just hanging out and enjoying and being lazy and relaxing. So this is a huge benefit. Love this one. You have bus service to all the parks, and it's just, we love this resort. I could go for a Boma Coma right about now too. So if you go there, you do have to go over to Jambo House. They do have Boma, where Kidani doesn't, but Kidani wins for everything else in my opinion. But when you go over, you've got to go to Boma. And breakfast is just, oh, it's so good. It's just so good. Boma Coma is a real thing. You'll see it. Number 3 on the DVC list was kind of a tie, but it's between the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian. But the Grand Floridian pulled out because of its rooms. So the Poly, I love everything about the Poly, except for inside of those rooms, if your neighbor in either room even thinks about anything, you're gonna hear it. I don't know what it is about that hotel, but the walls are just like, I think it's just the wallpaper. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm pretty sure it's just wallpaper. Like, it's not a real wall, because I can hear so much. Like, I can hear my neighbor's Keurig open. Like, it's weird. It's very weird. Like, curtains moving. I'm like, I shouldn't be able to hear this stuff. But either way, I digress. This is not a review about Polynesian, but Grand Floridian won out because they do have beautiful rooms. They have been recently renovated, which is awesome. You are a 10-minute walk to Magic Kingdom, which is perfect. You have princess character dining right there at your resort. So if you have a princess in your life, it is perfect for that. I absolutely love, they have both the DVC Deluxe Villa side, or you can even stay in the hotel side, so depending on what you're looking for. But this resort is beautiful, and it is a great kind of quintessential Disney. If you're wanting to splurge, this is the one to splurge for. You're also on the monorail, so you can have a quick little monorail ride over to Magic Kingdom. It picks up and the next stop is the Magic Kingdom, so that's perfect. You could also hop on the monorail and go over to Epcot from there. So it's just a great resort, and honestly, it's a bucket list resort for a reason. Now, next up is when to book. So honestly, as soon as possible. So as soon as you decide that you want to go to Disney World, I would suggest booking, especially if you're booking through Disney and you're booking a package with tickets. Obviously, reach out to your Disney travel agent and they can help you plan all this stuff out if you need any extra assistance with that. But it is $200 down for your package, and then you can pay along with it, and you don't have to have your final payment until 30 days out from your vacation. So you've got time, especially if you're booking a year out or so. You can save, you can make payments along the way, so it really works out. But those things are going to book up, especially with Disney adding in more and more benefits for staying on property. If that's something you're interested in doing, hotels are starting to really book up faster because of all this added benefits that Disney's doing to entice people to come and stay on a property. So that would be my suggestion, is as soon as you find out you want to go and you figure out your dates and where you want to stay, go ahead and get it booked. The deposit's refundable, so if for some reason you decide, you know what, this is not something we want to do, this is not something we can do, whatever, you make that decision, you can get a refund, you can get your money back. So no harm, no foul. But if you're wanting to get that kind of on the books and started, I would say as soon as you make that decision, go ahead and get it booked. Next up is your park tickets, because you are going to Disney World and most people are going to want to visit the parks. So the sweet spot I would suggest for a lot of families, whether it's a once a year trip or it's your first time trip, whatever that looks like for you, is to have a 5-day park ticket. I would say skip the park hopper. Going once a year or your first time or even a couple times a year, honestly, there's so much to do in each of the parks. You can spend a full day there and not scratch the surface. And honestly, if it's something that you're like, okay, it's not that busy, you can go back. You have an amazing hotel to hang out at. You have relaxed time. You can have downtime. You can go and explore other things if you wanted to incorporate that in, but it's going to be cheaper than adding on that park hopper. I don't fully see the value in that. If you're going for, again, first time, every so often, that sort of thing, that is just hands down not worth it. It just adds in too many options, and then you get kind of decision paralysis and like, I don't even know what to do. It just, go ahead and remove that. It removes it from your budget. It removes it from that decision-making process and just makes it a lot easier. Now, the reason I do suggest 5 days is that gives you 1 day in each of the 4 theme parks and a bonus day to go back to your favorite park. So for a lot of people, if it's your first time or if you have little kids, the 5th day is probably going to be another Magic Kingdom day. But the beauty of going now is they have removed all of the park reservation requirements, so you no longer need that. If you'd heard of that, you don't have to do that anymore. Or if you hadn't, don't worry about it. You actually don't have to do that. You just kind of missed that whole Disney era of where you needed reservations to get into Disney World parks. And so that works out really well for you because you have date-based tickets, so you can go and do whatever. But you can make that decision now when you're there. If you're like, you know what, we really enjoyed Epcot, I would love to go back and spend some more time there. Make that your 5th day. It's just go ahead and add in that flexibility of figuring out what's best for your family, and that way you can add on that last day, and it's that last fun magical day of like, okay, we're gonna go do our favorite park all over again, and we can do more stuff there, or we can redo this, or we can try things we didn't make it to and we really wanted to. So that can be a really great day, but I would honestly start with 5 days. Yes, you can save money and cut down and do all these things, but that's going to be a really great sweet spot. I would honestly shave budgets off of other things and go ahead and do that 5th day versus saving with less park days. So in this point, we've decided when we're going, we've picked out our hotel, we've picked out our park tickets, we've got that kind of package and everything all potentially booked by now. So now we're gonna start looking at, well, how do we wanna get there? Do we wanna drive? Do we wanna fly? And this is going to look different for every family. If you are coming from the UK, you really don't have an option. You've kind of got to get on a plane and fly for the most part. Like, that's kind of your option. Now, if you're coming from the United States, you're driving from Georgia, you may just want to hop in the car and go. So that is going to look very different depending on the family. So a lot of options with that. But if you are flying, this one kind of brings in a little bit more of the decision-making process. I feel like driving, you don't have as many things to think about with this. Is you just, okay, we're gonna drive, are we gonna get a hotel overnight, that sort of thing. You kind of talk through that. But flying, you've kind of got some options. So used to be, you had the Magical Express. So you flew into the Orlando International Airport, MCO, and you would go and you would get on the Magical Express. It was absolutely free. It took you to your Disney hotel if that's where you're staying. If you're doing an on-property stay, that's where you would head off to. But rest in peace, Magical Express, that is no longer there. So you have a few different options, but I'm gonna list out my 2 personal favorites. So if you are wanting to go as budget as possible, then it's gonna be Mears Connect. So this is the former Magical Express. And so for this, it's gonna be a bus style transportation. Now with that, you are gonna have to go get in line, and then you will probably stop at multiple resorts. 99% of people are going to stop at multiple resorts. So it could be 2, it could be 5, and it just depends on where your resort is located and kind of how they're doing it for the routes, because it changes a lot. It's not consistent all the time of how that works. So you can spend a little bit more time getting to your resort, but in exchange for spending more time getting to your resort, you do save on the front end with the cost. So it depends on, is time more valuable, is money more valuable, and where you want to do that. So that is the main like transportation option, and that is the most popular. Our personal favorite is to use private transportation. You in the airport, they help you with bags, and Mears Connect doesn't do that. You're juggling all of your bags and getting back and forth across the airport, sometimes zigzagging the airport with all of your stuff, maybe with kids, stroller. Like it's been a lot, and so that is why we personally prefer private transportation. Is that way when we get off the plane, we go to baggage claim, we meet up with our driver there, we grab our bags, and they escort us down to the express pickup spot for the most part if you're using that. Or if you are using a van, if you need you have a larger party traveling, then they will escort you outside to that. But it's really nice being able to just hop in a van or hop in the SUV or whatever you select with just your family. You're going straight there, and it is beautiful. We absolutely love it. We have been doing this. It is in the way we've been traveling to Disney World to and from the airport for 2 years, and we go like a lot. So that would be my suggestion. The company that we love and use is MCO to Disney. So I'll put their information here on the screen and also down in the description box below. If you use code PixieDustedMom, you will save 10% on your ride. And we love these guys. They are amazing. I mean, I feel like they're part family because we've been hanging out with them and they take us back and forth so much. I have not met a driver from their company that I didn't like, and they have been great. Communication is great. They are keeping up to date with your flight and when you'll be there and waiting on you, and it has just been absolutely beautiful experience from start to finish every single time for us. So cannot recommend them enough. So if you're traveling and you're flying in, those are the 2 of the options. You can also rent a car. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but as far as the 2 most popular and the ones that I personally suggest would be those 2. And then the last thing is kind of planning your park days. So as I mentioned earlier, in 2025, on your arrival day, your check-in day, you actually, if you're staying at a Disney resort, you get to go to the water park for free, which is awesome. So definitely, if you can and you get there early enough, take advantage of that. The Disney water parks are awesome, and they really don't get the love that they deserve. I think they're great, and so we absolutely love going. If you're going to Blizzard Beach, they have such amazing slides and all these different things, but then they also have, for little kids, as a mom of a 3- and 5-year-old, you're gonna get the little kid opinion too. But if you have little ones in your party, they have Tyke's Peak, which is Frozen themed now. They have brought in Anna and Elsa. It's got Kristoff, it's got Sven, Olaf, super cute. Lots of little kitty sized water slides. They have a 0 entry pool. It is just, it's so cute. Spend lots of time there, and depending on when it's open, sometimes Typhoon Lagoon though is open instead. Ever since the pandemic, they've alternated which one is open. They've not both been open at the same time. I'm like, that is when Disney will officially be back to normal, is when both water parks are open at the same time. Like, we're still recovering, but sometimes Typhoon Lagoon is open instead, and we love Ketchikiddee Creek. That is my girls' hands down favorite. Like, they love Anna and Elsa, but the slides and the tubes and everything at Ketchikiddee Creek, we could spend hours there with our girls. It is amazing. They do have the giant wave pool. They've got the lazy river. You can't go wrong. We love the Disney water parks. They're just so much fun, and a way to add that in, and especially since you're getting it for free. I mean, technically you're paying for it, but you're not buying a ticket. So I guess that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a girl math thing, like you're getting it for free. But it is awesome. So if you can at all, take advantage of that when you're planning out your Disney days. Maybe you don't want to go straight to the parks on your arrival day, and you go straight to the water parks instead. And then when you're planning your in-park days, I get a lot of questions about, do I need lightning lanes? Do I not need lightning lanes? What do I do? When should I buy it? What park should I buy it for? And if you were going for the first time, if you're going for once a year and you want to do a decent amount of things, or you want to be able to move through the things you want to do quickly, extra quickly, and then also be able to have downtime. You aren't maybe into getting up early. You may not be into staying up super late. Just depends on a lot of those factors. But if you check any of those boxes, I would buy lightning lanes. So I would honestly buy them if you can and it's in your budget. I would buy them for all 4 parks. Now, if you are wanting to save money and cut cost and you're like, okay, I only want them at the ones that I really, really, really need it at, not the ones that I could use it at and it's helpful. The ones that are like really, really, really need it is Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Those are my 2 picks. If I am going, I'm hands down, if we're gonna be spending the day at Magic Kingdom, I'm buying lightning lanes, bottom line. If we're going for a couple of hours or something, I might not. But if we're going, we're annual pass holders, so we can do the whole go in for a couple of hours. But if I'm like, you know what, I'm going, we're spending the full day there, even as someone who goes a lot, I want to do a lot and I don't want to wait in lines, and I don't, like, even, nobody talks about this, but the queues for the lightning lanes are much shorter. So you're not like doing all this stuff, like walking back and forth between all the ropes. It's a much, much shorter queue. So especially with little legs, little kids, it really helps if you have someone that just isn't capable of waiting in line. They don't do well in that atmosphere and you want to move on through the line, lightning lanes are going to be your best friend. So those 2 parks have some of the higher wait times and some of the biggest lines and most rides and all that stuff. So it is going to be a really good bang for your buck, honestly, for getting them there. But I hope this video has been helpful, kind of giving you that zoomed out roadmap of step-by-step of how to kind of breaking it down, what to do for planning your Disney World trip for 2025. I'm so excited, already planning a trip for my family, and I am really, really looking forward to it. It is so much fun going as a family and making those magical memories. But I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it did, don't forget to click that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Red subscribe button. Would love to have you in my little internet fam. And now that you've made it to the end of the video, you are now part of the honorary end of the video club, which means it's a secret club and you don't know about it until you make it to this part in the video. So you're gonna have to leave me a castle or magic star emoji down with your comment. That way I know you're part of the secret club, as well as I would love to know when you are planning to visit in 2025 or when your dream time to visit is in 2025. But thank you again so much for watching today's video. Don't forget, I will have the live planning session linked down below. So if you want to join that, getting ready for a trip in 2025, and it is before January 14th, click that link and go ahead and join our little live session. Would love to have you there, answer questions, we can chat and do this, but in more of a live, you're actually getting, like, we're chatting and having fun kind of format. So very, very excited about that event. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.